Sunday, November 17th, 16th, 2025, 1:49 p.m. And I just had an epiphany about a book of miracles. A Book of Miracles by Laurel Reider. And the book would be about the miracles I've seen. For example, how I got my Patsy Suite. And what a miracle that was. When I only had $150 in my pocket in Pueblo, Colorado in 2020. And I had February of 2020 when COVID came out. And I only had I got $150 from Advance America just by the grace of God Almighty. And I made a deal with Carl over at JDL Trailers there in Pueblo. And I was looking at these campers he had, and they were more expensive, good money down. And out the corner of my eye, I see this big old rig broken down, old as chips. But, something said, take a look at this. So I say, hey, Carl. I said, yeah, what's that you got over there? What's that there? That I'm going to have it shredded. That's just a piece of, well, can we look at it, please? I mean, really, you want to look at that? Yeah, let's just take a look for laughs and giggles. And, it was a wreck-inside. Patsy Suite was all torn up. But she was real wood, and she had potential, I could see. And I said, well, hey. I said, you're going to have this thing shredded anyway. I said, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you $1,000 for this rig. I'll give you $100 right now for it. And I'll give you payments, $100 a month for, 10 months or so. $1,000, okay? Yeah, he said, all right. He says, but you got to get it off my lot here. You got to get it running first, because it wasn't running. And by inspiration, I met my friend Clifford, who got me O, but he was for Joe. Dog ate a lot, but he was a great guard. While Joe was up Los Animas Ass County, a bunch of asses with no policies and procedures intact. But anyway, so, I got my Patsy Suite, and I got it running in about 7 days or so with Clifford, my friend, who found me O. And I took it over to Carl's shop, Carl JDL Trailers in Pueblo. He was great. And his daughter, Julie, she's really still a good friend of mine. But anyway, I parked, Patsy Suite over there and worked there for about, 3 weeks or so. He said, but you got to find a place here. You can't just keep your rig here and keep taking over my shop. And, because I just helped myself. And I returned things. I was quite respectful, and I was pulling security because there was a lot of crime going on there in Pueblo at the time. Anyway, so I got the rig running, and happened to be that Farts RV Park was right down the street there. And they had a spot, and so even though I was homeless and buzz, I didn't know where I was going, I pulled things together by the grace of God Almighty. I prayed a lot, definitely. And by the heavenly inspiration, got Patsy Suite. And Joey came home April 15th. It was trippy. And they didn't want to let him out because of COVID country. And I'm telling the story at 3:29, 3:30. I'm trying not to get too long to it because it's a really great story. And he was coming out of Los Animas' ass. A bunch of asses there. Their food was awful. Almost killed me when I was there for 2 weeks. But anyway, so there was this big snowstorm coming in. And I had to leave like 2 hours early so I could get to Joey, because I was all the way up in Pueblo, and he was down in Trinidad, Colorado, up Los Animas' ass. Anyway, so I blew with O 2 hours early, and rather than stopping anywhere, I had lots of Joe to go, coffee, I had smoked already, man, I was prepped max. And I said, well, it's going to be just a one-way ticket down there, and then one-way ticket back straight. Don't stop anywhere, except for snacks. And we stopped at Burger King, got snacks. Buzz had plenty of gas. Full tank, please. Anyway, so we blew through Burger King and got some double cheeseburgers and some snacks for he ate 2 of those double cheeseburgers. Easy. Anyway, and then he wanted Joey's. But I had Joe all snacks ready. I didn't stop at Big R. I didn't stop anywhere at all. And blew through Burger King drive-thru and stopped there at Los Animas' ass door. And here comes this officer, and he's shoving this piece of paper at me, right? Going, well, hey, where have you been? Have you been shopping? She said, I said, no, I blew through the drive-thru at Burger King, man. with extra pickles I got on my double cheeseburgers. Anyway, so he said, well, here's a piece of paper for you. You know, because if you stopped anywhere, you did anything, you can't get Joey out. We won't let him go with you. I'm like, what? Say what? I said, don't bring your piece of paper in my buzz. I said, how many inmates have you dealt with today? Sir, with all due respect. But every hand you touch or everything you touch just went on that paper you stuck in my buzz. Are you trying to give me COVID, sir? I haven't been exposed to anybody, dude. But you're threatening me, and you're threatening Joe, too. I mean, I don't think that's cool. I'm just sitting out here in the handicap zone waiting for Joe, you know? And poor Joe, he's in there trying to get the chips out of there, you know, because they didn't want to let him go. If he, you know, 5 minutes, get out or no. So he didn't even put his boots on. He ran in the snow. All the way to buzz. I carried his boots with Kay on. I said, Kay, let's get in here, Joe. Do you want regular menthol? And here's your Burger King to blow. Let's blow, Joe. It's one way home, man. And there's lots of snow, man. And we got O, man. Here's O meet Joe and Joe meet O. Joe and O immediately fell in love with each other, of course, because they were partners beforehand anyway. And O played great guard duty for me while Joe was up Los Angeles' ass. But anyway. So we made it home to Patsy's suite that I worked so hard for. And boy, it was neat. And Patsy's suite was perfect, and she was beautiful. And Christmas lights and everything, you know. And it was home, and it was cozy. And that was an absolute miracle how everything happened. The synchronicities were incredible. But anyway, at 6:49, I know I went on, but that's kind of like a book of miracles. Something like that. This is one example. There's so many, it's not even funny. But tell me what you think. Anyway, I dig it. Love you, lovelies.